Hi everyone, this is Green Book Chapter 8, Part 2. Last time we talked about past perfect, and let's remember the structure of past perfect has three parts: a subject, next had as the auxiliary verb, and it means había, and the past participle. Today we are going to talk about the situations in which you can use past perfect. So before we do that, let's review an example from the last lesson. A. Why didn't Mr. and Mrs. Henderson see a movie last weekend? B. They didn't want to. They had seen a movie the weekend before. So in the examples we practiced last time, we used past perfect to explain why or why not something did or didn't happen in the past. And today we're going to look at a few different situations. The first one is using past perfect to describe preparation. We're going to do some reading today, and in this reading there are lots of examples of how we can use past perfect to describe preparation.
Page 98. The most important thing. Listen.
Roger thought he was all prepared for his dinner party last night. He had sent invitations to his boss and all the people at the office. He had looked through several cookbooks and had found some very interesting recipes. He had even gone all the way downtown to buy imported fruit, vegetables, and cheese, which he needed for his dinner. However, as soon as Roger's doorbell rang and his guests arrived, he realized that he had forgotten to turn on the oven. Roger felt very foolish. He couldn't believe what he had done. He thought he was all prepared for his dinner party, but he had forgotten to do the most important thing. Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins thought they were all prepared for their vacation. They had packed their suitcases several days ahead of time. They had gone to the bank and purchased traveler's checks. They had even asked their next-door neighbor to water their plants, feed their dog, and shovel their driveway if it snowed. However, as soon as Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins arrived at the airport, they realized that they had forgotten to bring their plane tickets with them, and there wasn't enough time to go back home and get them. Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins were heartbroken. They couldn't believe what they had done. They thought they were all prepared for their vacation, but they had forgotten to do the most important thing.
Next, we're going to work on page 100 and practice a new way to use past perfect. So let's read the model first.
Page 100. They didn't get there on time. Listen to the model.
Did you get to the concert on time?
No, I didn't. By the time I got to the concert, it had already begun.
The examples on this page express a sequence of events, and this is probably one of the most common ways to use past perfect. Remember that we always use past perfect to describe something that happened before a certain event in the past. So let's finish the exercises on page 100. Call a friend and you can work through them together. Nice work. Let's talk about your homework. On your screen, you should see two different activities. The first one is which is correct. For each of these 5 sentences, you'll decide which word best completes the sentence. For the how about you activity, you're going to do some writing. So you'll write a paragraph about answering these questions, about a time when you thought you were prepared for something and then forgot something very important, just like our reading today. This can be a real situation or you can create the situation. Try to write about 7 sentences in your paragraph. That is all for today. See you soon.